The G20 summit is getting underway in the Turkish city of Antalya in the shadow of Friday's terror attacks in Paris, which claimed more than 120 lives. Global security and the conflict in Syria, which were always top of the agenda, are now likely to be even more pressing after France announced that it believes Islamic State was behind the atrocities in the French capital. Ahead of the G20, Turkey conducted its own raids on the extremist terrorist group. Here in the Turkish capital of Istanbul, police, backed by helicopters, detained dozens of people suspected of being loyal to Islamic State. This comes after a similar operation in Antalya saw 20 people detained, all of them suspected of having links to IS. Even before events in France, the White House said President Obama will hold talks at the G20 with his Turkish counterpart on combating the group.
The president will participate in a bilateral meeting with President Erdogan of Turkey. Clearly, in addition to discussing the G20 summit and the agenda there, the two leaders will also be focused on our counter-ISIL efforts and the situation in Syria, where Turkey has been a critical ally and partner.
With Russian President Vladimir Putin also expected at the G20 summit, the situation in East Ukraine will also be on the table. Militants backed by Russian troops have been fighting Ukrainian forces in the region for some 18 months. Russia has been sanctioned by the West for its involvement in the conflict, though the Kremlin has continually denied any involvement. Putin this week questioned the motivation behind a recent defense bill voted through the U.S. Congress, which allocated some $50 million to Ukraine for lethal military aid. The Russian leader was largely ostracized at last year's G20 meeting and left early, citing a lack of sleep. The Kremlin denied reports at the time that he departed because of tensions with other leaders over Ukraine. In Washington, they say that this year Obama has no plans to meet him.
This schedule is very packed. And there are, frankly, a number of bilateral meetings that would be nice to have had in Antalya that won't be possible in the compressed time that we have. But we expect that the president will have the opportunity to see Putin and others not only at the G20 in Turkey, but we also know, for example, that President Putin will be in Paris at the climate summit.
That climate summit in Paris, set to take place from November 30th, will now take on special significance after Friday's terror attacks. Many of the leaders in Antalya for the G20, who earlier expressed their solidarity with France, are scheduled to travel to the French capital for the conference.